My wrestler wants to quit. It's too hard. He's losing too much. He doesn't like it. Should I allow him to quit the sport? 100% no. And here's why. Now, obviously, this is a situation by situation decision. But the first thing I want you to think about is, do you think wrestling is a mandatory skill you want your kid to learn? When I was younger, my parents wanted me to learn how to swim. So if I was walking around a pool and I fell in, I didn't drown and die. Or, when I was going canoeing with my dad, if I fell in, I was safe. So they got me into swimming with all my other brothers and sisters, and we learned how to swim. Now, after we were sufficient and good at swimming, we could decide to quit or not, right? Hey, I don't really like it anymore, but hey, I can swim, I can take care of myself. I don't have to be an elite level swimmer. You've got to decide, is wrestling the same way? Do I want my kid to be able to protect himself, to feel confident, to not get bullied? If you feel that way and you feel wrestling is a mandatory skill you want your kid to know, then you don't let your kid quit. It's not really a decision topic, right? Similarly, if you allowed your child to make every decision in their life, they would make a lot of bad decisions. For example, you don't need to ask your kid, hey, what do you want for dinner? Because what they may want is a bag of candy and some soda. And then they end up being obese and their teeth falling out. So, if you think it's good for them, then they should do it. You're the parent. They're not mature enough to make all the decisions. Now, obviously, there's decisions on things that aren't mandatory. 100% they can choose, right? If you feel like they can choose between these two things and you want them to have the choice, ask them, right? But we're talking about things that you feel your kid should be doing. If he should be eating healthy, if you want him to learn how to wrestle, I know people put their kids in like Boy Scouts or something. If you feel like you want them to learn those skills, you make it mandatory for them. And you don't make it a discussion. Hey, do you want to go to practice today or not? You just put it in the routine. Similarly, brushing your teeth, right? Brushing your teeth is mandatory. You brush your teeth. It doesn't matter if you don't want to brush your teeth or you do want to brush your teeth. You don't ask your kid, do you want to brush your teeth today? You go and brush your teeth, right? So you could just make it mandatory. You don't ask, hey, do you want to go to practice? You just go to practice. It's part of the schedule. You learn how to wrestle. You go home. And you can do it similarly where if they don't like it at some point, hey, do you still want to do wrestling? Is it something you enjoy? I feel like you understand these skills that I wanted you to learn. Now you can make the decision. So that's that side of it. The second side, hey, I really don't think it is mandatory. Like I don't think, for example, you live in the middle of nowhere where there's no water. I don't think my kid needs to know how to swim because he's never near water. So he doesn't have to learn how to swim, right? So if you feel like you're in a situation where, hey, I don't think my kid needs to know how to wrestle, I don't think it's that important for him, then here's how you go about doing that. Say your kid's interested in trying wrestling, right? It's not a mandatory thing for you. You don't really care much whether he does it or not, and he wants to try it. You have to set a time frame for kids, and this is with any activity, to show them how to not be a quitter, right? So you could do something like, hey, we're going to try wrestling out for this year, and then we can evaluate after. Hey, just know if you're deciding to sign up for this, if you're committing to this wrestling, we're going to do it for the whole month, and then you can decide to quit or not after, right? But we're not just quitting and starting something and quitting it after the first day because it's too hard. Now you can obviously maybe, our club, we do some trial classes, so you can do trial stuff too. But when you make a commitment, you got to put a time frame on it and have your kids see it through, right? So, if your kid is going through a wrestling season and you told them, hey, we're going to wrestle through this season. In the middle of the season, they're losing every match. They're, not having a success. They're telling you, I want to quit. It's too hard. I'm crying every practice. I'm losing every match. If you let them quit, they will become a loser and a quitter. So they're already losing every match, so they're becoming a loser. And then they quit, now they're both. So you don't want to put that on your kid. You don't want to make him a loser and a quitter. Just tell him to finish the season off. Tell him things in life are going to be tough. We got to work through these type of things. But, if you don't think it's a mandatory sport for them, you can 100% let them stop wrestling once the season's over, but encourage them, hey, we're going to work through this. If you feel like you don't want them to compete in that type of thing, you can. If you feel like you need to step in to try to adjust the practices, tell the coach, hey, this kid's beating him up, can you switch him out? All that stuff is fine. But I think really helping your kid persevere and work through the difficulties in their life is going to make their character much stronger, and it's going to benefit them. What are we trying to do for our kids? We're trying to build them into strong men and women so that when they leave you and they go into create their own families, go to college, leave, they can have the character, the fortitude, the ability to survive, and not only survive, to thrive and have success in other areas in their life.